Hello everyone, I am Saara Aalto and I am representing Finland in the Eurovision Song Contest in 2018. For me, Eurovision Song Contest has always been a very special thing. I remember I was 10 years old when I saw Dana International on the magazine in Finland. Dana had just won the Eurovision and I saw the pictures of Dana winning with the flowers and I was like, wow, this is something interesting, this is something great, and she's the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. And that's how I started to follow Eurovision. And since then, I've been just watching it every year, and I remember when Finland won in 2006, that was like the best party ever. I had a Lordi themed party at my home, and when they won, I was like, screaming so much that I thought the neighbors would throw me out of my house, basically. I have wanted to go to Eurovision since I was, I don't know, maybe 15. So when I was 16, I actually took part to the national final of the Eurovision Song Contest in Finland. I was part of a girl group. We didn't make it, but I was 16 and that was my first TV performance ever. And yeah, that was my first try. And I tried quite a lot in 2011 with my song Blessed with Love, and then 2016 with my song No Fear, and I came second both times. So everybody in Finland and maybe everywhere in the world who follow Eurovision, they know how much I want to be there, how much I want to do Eurovision, and I was really, really honored and happy when I got the phone call quite many months ago, last autumn, if I wanted to represent Finland, and I was like, finally hard work is paying off. I don't even have to do a competition anymore. So I sang 3 songs and Monsters was chosen, and I couldn't be happier and prouder to represent Finland with Monsters. I wrote Monsters in London with Linnea and Joy Depp and Kai Fitzgerald. We didn't know each other. Linnea and Joy, they just flew to London, and Kai came there as well, and we were in a small studio room for 5 hours, and basically the whole song was written in 3-4 hours. I was by the piano and we were trying different things and singing together, and it came so easily. And we were thinking about, like, what should we write about? And for me, it was quite clear that I want to write about what I've experienced. And before, like in my earlier years when I was in Finland, I didn't feel like I was accepted in Finland. And when I auditioned to the X Factor UK in 2016, that was like the first time when I felt like the people there understood me, and I had a very, very great journey on the X Factor UK 2016, and I came second in that competition. And that love that I got from people in Britain who started voting for me in that competition, even though I wasn't even British, that experience changed my life. The whole team there was like, Saara, we love you as you are. Oh, you should be even more like over the top. And in Finland, nobody didn't really get me. They were like, what is she doing? And you know, so I kind of had all these traumas and negative comments in my head, even after the X Factor UK. Because if you grow up with people judging you, it leaves marks into your heart. And so when I was in studio room with Linnea and Joy and Kai, I was like, you know what? I still have all these monsters in my head. Like, I still feel and hear those negative comments and those traumas and those things people said to me in Finland, and I would really want to get rid of them, and I want to make a song about it. And that's the story. So it's kind of like a power song for me, like a survival song. Like, I'm gonna get rid of all those things that happened in my life, and I'm gonna go forward. I'm gonna lead my life. This is my life, and I'm not gonna make myself smaller anymore. I'm gonna just be like this, like full of light and love, and I'm gonna be as big as I want. And that's monsters. Let's get rid of them. The music video for Monsters was filmed in Oslo, Norway. It was directed by Alex Herron, and the director of photography was Anders Flatland. So yeah, I went to Oslo and I wanted to have a video with my monsters. But these monsters were quite good monsters, actually. Kind of like all those people in my head, but in the end of the music video, I kind of become friends with them. So it's kind of like making peace with your past and celebrating your life with everything you have. And I had these beautiful boys from Norway in my music video, dressed up as drag queens or androgyne monsters, and we are by the table dancing, strutting, and like laying on the ground. I really loved doing that music video. It was so fun to have actually people around me, not doing it on my own. And Alex was an amazing director. I was so honored to work with him. He came all the way from Los Angeles to do the music video, so I was really like, oh, yay! It was a great experience. One of the best parts of this job is traveling and meeting new people, and I am so happy to announce that I have my own headline show in London on 25th of April. That's going to be called Eurovision Wonderland. So basically, some Eurovision things maybe, you have to come and check it out. And my new album tracks and surprises, of course. And then actually just after Eurovision, I'm going to start touring with Steps, the band. Steps are having a stadium tour, and I'm going to be there as a guest performer, which is super exciting, just right after Eurovision. Whew, so I'm going to have a very busy summer and spring, but what could be better? The creative director for my Eurovision performance is Friedman. So Brian is basically like planning everything that happens on stage, like the set pieces, lighting, and who is doing the choreography and what am I wearing. Like, he's kind of like the boss of everything. And I met Brian on the X Factor UK. Brian was the creative director for the X Factor in the UK, and he's really crazy in a good way, just like me. And when we met there, we kind of both knew it, like, okay, this is working well. Like all of his plans were just something that I absolutely loved, and I was like, oh, finally I get to do these performances that I could have never ever done in Finland. And when he saw how enthusiastic and happy I was, he started to give me more challenges, like, oh, the dancers will lift you and they're gonna spin you around and you're gonna sing at the same time. And I'm like, yeah, let's do everything. It was crazy fun. And when the X Factor ended, Brian came to me and said, Saara, if you ever need me, please let me know. And when I found out I would be doing Eurovision, I was like, okay, this is Brian's thing. Like, if sometimes now's the time to ask Brian to work with me again. And I basically emailed Brian and asked if he wanted to do Eurovision, and he was like, sure. And we did 3 amazing performances for the Finnish national final, and now we are recreating my Monsters performance for Eurovision. In 2016, I participated the X Factor UK. So how and why did I go to UK? Oh, well, actually, my biggest dream has always been to be international singer. And I've known that since I was 10, because I saw the Spice Girls performing on TV when I was 10, and I was like, that's where I want to be. I want to sing in English. I want to have big shows. And that's when I started to write music in English. Even though I didn't even know English yet, but I was learning and writing songs. And when I grew up, I always tried to find ways to get out of Finland, basically. Like, so I did many TV competitions in Finland, and I tried to get to Eurovision so many times. And then in 2016, I participated the Eurovision national final with No Fear, and I came second. And I was like, oh, it was so close. I almost got to Eurovision. I almost got out of Finland. And I was like, what else can I do? I want to have an international career. In my earlier, very difficult word. I'm so tired. It's fine. In my earlier years, in my previous years, I actually did gigs in China and like in Turkey, and I've always wanted to sing everywhere. So, because I didn't get to Eurovision in 2016, I was like, what do I do now? How can I get abroad? And my beautiful fiancé, Mary, said to me, Saara, have you ever considered going to the X Factor UK? And I was like, what? Could I actually do that? And I just Googled and found out, actually, yeah, every year they have some international singers there. And I just decided to audition like this. And we flew to Manchester to auditions, and here I am. Crazy journey. When I went to the UK, I was like, I hope I will find some people who could help me with my career. I mean, London is the place, UK is the place of music in Europe, and I was like, I just need to find somebody who can help me. And I was really lucky because the X Factor UK was such a successful thing for me. I found my management, I found my label, I found so many great new friends and makeup artists and dancers. I met so many people, and all of them were able to help me. And it was a risk that I had to take, and it was the best thing I've ever done. And I wouldn't be here if I wouldn't have gone to the UK. I've always had that no fear attitude, and the X Factor UK proved me that it really works. It really works. It was so crazy to even it was so I'm really tired. It was so crazy to even try and go there, and I still did so well, and I felt like all my hard work was paying off and is paying off, and it is all because I'm taking risks. You have to take risks. That's the only way you can get forward with your life. I am releasing my first international album in the end of April, which is really exciting. I can't reveal the name of the album yet. I wrote that album in the UK, in Sweden, in Norway, in Finland. I got to work with all the best writers, and it has been like a super great experience. It has been so crazy to be in the room with people who have written songs to Spice Girls and Girls Aloud, Cher, Kylie Minogue, and like so many. It's just crazy to be a Finnish girl doing all that. And I think we have a very good album coming, very good. We of course have the Eurovision national final songs there, Monsters, Domino, Queens, and so many other new songs that I can't wait to share with you. My top 3 career highlights. Can I say more than 3? I think the first one maybe was in 2011 when I participated the national final of the Eurovision Song Contest in Finland for the first time as a solo artist. That was a song called Blessed with Love. And because of that competition, I released my first album just a couple of months after the national final. So it kind of gave me the boost to really to do my own album. I wasn't signed to a big label, because in Finland I would have had to sing in Finnish, but I didn't want to. I wanted to sing in English, so I had to establish my own label, and I published my first album through my own label, and I was so proud of it. It was like my own baby. So that was kind of like when my whole artistic career started. That was number one. Number two, well, very big moment for me when I was singing with Andrea Bocelli in Helsinki. He's like the best singer in the world, and he had his world tour, and he came to Finland and he wanted me to sing with him, and that was just crazy to sing with him, like 5 or 6 songs with Andrea Bocelli in Hartwall Arena, like a big arena. That was my first arena gig, and I was like, with the best singer in the world, and he liked me so much. I was so proud of myself. And the third, I'm gonna have more than 3, I'm sorry. I gave my voice to Princess Anna in the Finnish version of Frozen. And yeah, in addition to my Eurovision dream, I've always wanted to be a Disney princess. And when I got to do that, that was like, if I ever have a bad day, I'm like, well, I'm a Disney princess and nobody can take that away from me. And then I would say the fourth thing would be the X Factor UK. That is like, of course, my biggest career highlight so far. It just changed everything. I got to do so many great performances every week, and people loved them, and I felt so accepted, and that was the most important thing. I felt so loved, and I felt like I could be just who I am. After Eurovision, I'm going straight to stadium tour in the UK with Steps, which is going to be amazing. Then I'm going to have gigs all around Europe, in the US, in Finland, in Europe, everywhere, which I'm super excited about. And then by the end of this year, I'm going to have a European tour, my own headline tour. Just wait. After Eurovision, I'm also going to release my second single, of course. It's going to be an up-tempo song, quite like a summer song, good vibes. Quite different from Monsters, but not in a bad way. Of course, they're quite similar, but you know, Monsters is so dark, so my next song will be a bit more sunny, maybe. I would like to say to you all that dreams can come true, and I am like the perfect example of that. Really, if you work hard, if you keep believing, if you keep your mind positive, you can do whatever you want. But you have to remember the positive mindset. That is the most important thing. And I just want to say that everything is possible. And you people have proven that to me. Because people voted for me on the X Factor UK, and I know people will vote for me in the Eurovision as well. Please. You know, together we make this world a better place. Together we can make each other's dreams come true. And I am just so happy to have you with me on my journey. It means so much to me. And I can't wait to talk to you again. Thank you so much.